All right, for more, let's bring in Siobhan Morris. Siobhan, I spoke to you before that news conference. You called it. He's not going anywhere, at least not yet. What do you make of what we heard from Steve Clark?
I was struggling to remember. I was like, did we speak earlier? I'm so sorry. It's been a blur of things at Queen's Park. I thought what was interesting and maybe a little surprising is that he apologized directly to Ontarians for not being more involved in this process, this decision-making process of pulling lands out of the Greenbelt. This is something that the Integrity Commissioner said he ought to have been doing. He accused Steve Clark of burying his head in the sand. We didn't hear Steve Clark use those words, but did acknowledge that it's what the Integrity Commissioner said. He says he should have been more in those discussions, not leaving everything up to his former chief of staff to lead this process of parsing which lands would be good to take out of the Greenbelt to allow for housing to be built on them.
Tell me as well, I know reporters were pushing Steve Clark. They were saying, look, we're confused here. You're taking responsibility. You say the buck stops with you. You say mistakes were made. You're apologizing. This story has become a huge distraction for the government. You've got a great reputation previously in politics. Why are you not doing the right thing and stepping aside, even so the government can kind of move on here? And reporters pushing Doug Ford too on this. And Ford as well, getting a little frustrated with reporters. Well, how does this play out, do you think, for the Ford government, Siobhan?
I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. I know that there are polls in the field right now about support for the government, about in light of this issue, maybe not focused on this issue, but they're just doing their kind of general checks on support for the government. And I think that will be maybe a key thing to watch, is where the public support is going for the premier, for the party in general at this point, because Doug Ford talks all the time about the fact that everybody he talks to on the street just wants him to get more housing built, and has really said that in this case he thinks the ends justify the means, that everything has to be focused on getting more homes built. And I think we have to wait to see whether the public truly is behind him on that, if that's really what they believe, or if they are troubled by these reports about ethics rules being broken, about developer relationships that are too close, basically, we saw in the Auditor General report, developers passing envelopes to a chief of staff and saying, here's where we'd like to build. We will definitely be hearing more about this from the opposition, but that's the thing to watch. Are they only the people really troubled by this, or are Ontarians troubled by it too?
Siobhan Morris in Toronto with the latest. The embattled housing minister apologizing profusely, not resigning. Thanks for this, Siobhan. Good to see you.